Genevieve, and welcome to Pen to Print. Today we've got this lovely author with us. She came third in the 2016 Pen to Print competition. It is Lucy! Woo, 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 woo. Thank you so much for coming back to your home of Pen to Print, Lucy.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure to be here.
Firstly, tell us more about you and why did you enter Pen to Print in the first place?
I entered because I've always wanted to write novels. I've written a lot of plays, but what I really wanted to do was write novels. And at the time, I'd been writing some TV drama and sending that off and sending off short stories and to loads of different places and just getting loads of rejection at that time.
That is the hard part, I think.
Yeah, so I just had this whole onslaught of rejection coming down on my head, basically. So I decided that I really needed to do something, and I really needed to do something with books because that's really what I want to write. And so this competition came up.
You've obviously got that experience as well. Like you've had a lot of the plays actually performed as well, haven't you?
Yeah. So I've had 27 plays performed around the UK and Australia.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So one play toured Australia for 6 months.
That is incredible.
And
this just seems, if you don't know what Pen to Print is, it's just an amazing competition where you, like Lisa said, you submit one chapter of a book. And how did you actually come up with that story in the first place? Before you saw the competition, did you already have the story in mind?
Yeah, well, I'd had the story in mind for about 5 years. I'd wanted to write the story of my mum and Bobby Moore because my mum was in Bobby Moore's class at school and it was something that was in the back of my mind of something that I wanted to write and find out more about from her. And then my brother and I, we were writing TV dramas together. And we came up with like a whole list of stuff we could write, and one of them was my idea was that we could write this as a 3-part drama, this Bobby Moore story. And so we were going to write it as a TV drama, and in order for me to get into the characters' heads, I decided to write a chapter of a book just so that I could kind of get to know my characters. And then this competition came up, and my brother decided that this wasn't a story he wanted to tell. That he said, you go for it.
You go for it yourself.
This is your story. This is your story to tell. It's a girl's story. You tell it. So, I wrote this chapter and sent it, and it was chosen, and I was mentored.
Wow. So tell us more about that. So with this competition, Pen to Print, you send a chapter, then they shortlist a group of you.
Yeah, so I think it was 10.
So you've got the 10 shortlist, and then you get, this is why this competition is amazing, because then you actually get mentored for, is it 6 months? 6 months,
yeah. I had mentoring. I was mentored by Ian Aris for 6 months, and it was very informal. It was like a chat, really, for an hour and a bit, and but it was a brilliant experience because I had someone reading my stuff, and I had someone commenting on it, and someone believing in it, and someone spurring me on to keep writing it, and that's what I needed.
I think that makes such a difference because I think for anyone who wants to be an author, you are kind of by yourself, aren't you?
You're completely isolated, completely isolated.
And you're just writing all this stuff, you're sending it out. And let's actually talk about rejection, because again, I don't think a lot of people talk about this.
No, rejection was something that, when I was growing up, was something that I always had an issue with. I thought I would never send anything off because I was so scared that I'd find out it wasn't good enough. So I never sent anything off. And then I kind of got over that with the plays. I started to send things out, but I sent them out in pseudonyms, and that helped.
What is the pseudonym for the people who don't know?
Okay, so you send it off in a name that's not your own name. And in fact, I even wrote the plays at first as if I was someone else.
Wow.
And what happened was, it started as a bit of a joke really, where me and my 2 brothers decided to write all these plays in loads of different names and just send them to these scratch nights, so it was short 10-minute plays, send them to scratch nights and see if we could get any on, and they just kept choosing ours. Didn't matter what name we sent them in, they kept choosing them. So in the end we'd have almost the whole show would be our plays, but in different names.
But they wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know. So
this is a great little insight here.
But what that did was it freed me up because I was doing it as someone else, it freed me up to write what I wanted to write. So I could write anything. I could be rude, I could swear, I could write kind of genres that I wouldn't normally write in. And it helped me to send them off. So then, because I started to get that kind of encouragement of knowing I must be good if I can constantly get my stuff chosen in different names, then I had that confidence to start sending stuff off. But as I said, the position I got into last February was that I'd had so much rejection all in one short few months. I'd had about 55 rejections, and I was at a real low point. I just thought, I don't know what to do next, I don't know what to write. I've tried TV drama, I've tried plays, I've tried I really want to write books still, but I had a bit of a block about writing the book. And
was pen to print kind of like that lifeline in a way? Did you like
completely? It was completely a lifeline, and to the point where on the day when I knew I would get an email saying one way or the other whether I was in or not. I was shaking. I mean, I was absolutely shaking, and I really wanted to be in it. I feel like I can go now. And I really needed my book to be chosen because I thought it's a barking story, it's a barking competition, and if I can't get my barking story into a barking competition, then I can't do anything. So it meant everything. And it was really late in the day that I got the email saying that I was in.
Well, I would have been waiting at my computer all day.
And I was really thinking, well, that's that then. It's like 7 o'clock, I haven't heard. I can't be in, And then when the email came, I was just ecstatic, really.
Oh, that's amazing. Were you literally just like, oh my God?
Yeah, because I really wanted to write this book. And I really wanted the help. And I knew it would give me that motivation to sit down and discipline myself to write it.
What would you say to people watching this that are maybe in a similar situation? They've maybe written books and nothing's really happened how they want it to happen. They're getting these rejections all the time. They just want someone to publish their book. I mean, what would you kind of say to them to keep? Because you lit pen to print, you kept going. You could have seen this competition and thought, oh, do you know, I'm not going to put myself through this.
No, it is about keeping going. It's absolutely about keeping going. And it's always about caring about the work first and foremost. That's, I think, if you get your ego come in the way, that's where things go wrong, really. It's not really about making money. It's not about getting published. It's not about getting those kind of awards or accolades. It's about the work. It's always about the work for me. It's about, I've got a project on. I love what I'm writing. I believe in it. I get completely immersed in it while I'm writing that particular project. And it's about getting that work as good as that work can possibly be. And then if you aim for quality, then hopefully get it out there, then that's what my focus always is. It's not really about the publishing, although
it's always about the content more.
Yeah, it's about the content, and it's also, I think the frustrating thing, the reason why I was so bad with rejection was because I really wanted readership. I wanted readers, because otherwise, if you write something and it just sits in a drawer forever,
it's like no one's seen it.
It's like it doesn't really exist. It's like it only really exists if
it's
someone
out there.
reads it. Yeah.
This competition I think has been great for you, but where are you kind of at now? Because I think people would also want to know, okay, so you came third in pen to print. What kind of happens after the competition?
Okay, so after the competition, there was obviously an award ceremony because I came third, and so I spoke at the award ceremony, and then there was an opportunity to be published by Pen to Print, by their new generation publishers that they use. And at that stage, I was sending to agents. So that's still the stage I'm at, really, is I've sent to lots of agents. I've had a few agents request the full manuscript, some quite big agents, which is good, but I'm still waiting to hear from them. So at the moment I'm in that waiting stage.
Are you like in the limbo?
I'm still in the limbo, yeah, and it's very frustrating because I just want to get my book out there and I just want it read.
You should make them read it.
Yeah, I do. I just want people to read it.
Okay, and finally, what would you say to people who want to enter this competition, but they're kind of on the fence? They don't know if they should do it, if they shouldn't. What would you say to them?
I'd say do it if you are prepared to put your life on hold for 6 months. Because, which probably...
Wasn't expecting that.
No, it won't, that isn't going to encourage people to do it. I know, so you can cut all of this. But basically, it's a very intense experience, which is a good thing because it forces you to write your book.
Yeah.
If you discipline yourself and you work really hard, you will have a book at the end of it. And I mean, that's the main thing that I got out of it, is I have a book.
Yeah.
I didn't have a book before. I had an idea in my head I'd been
Yeah.
carrying around for 5 years, but now I've got my book.
Yeah.
And it's been polished up, and I wrote it 3 times during that 6 months, and it was edited during that period. So it's you know, a fairly polished piece of work in 6 months.
And I'm not going to edit that out.
Okay.
Because I think people do need to know the reality. Because I think we've all got this idea, we're going to write a book, someone's going to publish it, and that's the end of the story. You move on to your next. But the reality is, in life, it's not like that. Even with a competition like this, I'm glad Lucy brought that in, is that it is an intense process. And even though you get this mentoring with this competition, you'll hopefully get your book published and out there in libraries, it's still, it's going to be hard.
I mean, you asked me earlier about challenges, and I mean, one of the challenges I had during the writing of the book, which was a book about my mum, was that my mum was going through chemotherapy at the time when I was writing the first draft. So it was like, it became really intense and emotional. I was writing about her as a small child. I was writing about the death of her sisters, and my mum was really quite seriously ill. And so I had all that going on, and also I was operated on during that time as well, because I had skin cancer. I had like half my nose removed, and so they were challenges as well, because it was like an intense emotional period of my life and my mum's life.
But I think, do you know what, I'm so glad you've mentioned that, because I think that's so inspirational. Because again, I think so many people, and we always like to hide what's going on, because in a way it's like, why should we?
Well, it was a great distraction in one way, because I just threw myself completely into this book. But at the same time, it did feel like it was completely the wrong time to write a book, and yet I kept at it and at it and at it. And it is true that I did have to put my life on hold. I had to pretty much write all day, every day, quite a lot of weekends as well. And
no watching X Factor for anyone.
and I really did not see much of life during that time. And at the end of 6 months, it felt really weird to go out into the outside world. And the world had moved on, and I still felt like it was March or April when I got chosen. End of April, I'd got chosen. And I still felt like I was going to go out and it was spring, and suddenly it's autumn and getting on for Christmas, and I'd missed 6 months of my life.
But it was all worth it.
It was definitely
all worth it.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing I would really say to people, is if you're going to enter, remember to enjoy the process, because it's so easy to not enjoy that intensity and to, you know, think, oh, you know, I've given everything up for this thing and not enjoy it, but actually to really enjoy the process and the opportunity, because it's a massive opportunity.
I need to stress this. Like, I don't think there's
nothing else like this out there.
Anything else in the UK
No.
where you can get your book published, you get mentoring, and it's all for free. You do not have to pay anything.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just in awe of Barking Dagenham, and I think that's one reason why I went for it as well, because I could see, as a writer that's been writing for a long time, I knew what a great opportunity this was. This doesn't come along for free.
So you have to snap it up.
You have to snap it up.
Time and enter.
You do,
the link's going to be here right now. If you do want to enter this competition, like we keep mentioning, it's an amazing opportunity. And I think the main thing is you don't have to pay. So it's if you really want to get your book published, please do enter. If you want to keep in touch with Lucy, you've got a Facebook page now as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got an author's page on Facebook.
So we'll put the link up here as well. And yes, like I said, if you do want to enter, you want to get your book published, you want mentoring, you want to come to all the classes that are happening in the Barking and Dagenham libraries, click the link. It'll be down in the description or above this video, and enter, because you've got nothing to lose.
No, you have nothing to lose. Go for it.
Lucy said go for it. So thank you so much, Lucy, for coming on, one of our amazing pen to print winners. Make sure you do connect with her, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.